Hey everyone, Carolina Venom here. Doing this video here talking about Cricket Wireless Service. I made mention in my last video that I was going to do 3 videos about Cricket Wireless Service. One now, one in the middle of the month, and one at the end of the month um, as I try out this new Cricket Wireless Service. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I think about it as far as my first initial thought of Cricket Wireless after being with them for 3 days and everything. So far, I have had a couple of little problems. No big deal, but it kind of gives me a little bit of a, bad first impression by switching from Boost Mobile over to Cricket Wireless. And I'll get into that here in a second. But first of all, I want to say that, reception is great. LTE is everywhere I go, and I never really drop below 2 bars of service anywhere I go. I mean, I got service about everywhere with the new Cricket. Of course, since it's been took over by AT&T, wherever you pretty much have AT&T service, you know, for the most part, you're going to have on Cricket Wireless. So, um, service is great. Two things that I have found issues with already is one is customer service. Customer service itself is not really that bad. I've only talked to one person in customer service, and it was really hard to hear them. A lot of background noise. You had to really strain to hear somebody talk because it's like 100 people talking at one time, and it's really hard to hear the person you're talking to on the phone. But the biggest problem was the wait times. I've been calling Cricket for the past couple of days and could never get a hold of anybody. And tonight was the first time that I got a hold of somebody, and it said, we are experiencing high call volumes, estimated wait time 10 minutes. Well, 45 minutes later, I finally got a representative. 45 minutes later. And like I said, when I got a hold of somebody, it was very noisy in the background. I could barely hear who I was talking to. It sounded like he was in a very crowded mall. That's what it sounded like, trying to talk to somebody. And it was kind of aggravating trying to hear somebody talk. But it was, it was no big deal. And the previous times when I've called, they say they have extremely high call volumes. So if it says 10 minutes and I wait 45 minutes to talk to somebody on high call volumes, imagine how long you got to wait on extremely high call volumes. I hate to know, hour and a half. I don't know. But the reason why I was calling Cricket was because of my LTE service, and my LTE service has been wishy-washy. Right here in my immediate area, I do get LTE, and I've not really had an issue staying in LTE where I live, and I can get pretty good download and upload speeds here in my area. But when I'm uptown in full LTE service, I ran one speed test where I only got 0.10 megabits download and like 0.12 megabits upload. And that was in full LTE service. And I was like, wow, disappointing. And even earlier on, I was, only getting 1 to 2 megabits download, in full LTE coverage area. But in my immediate area, I have almost, 7-8 megabits download. So I called Cricket, and like I said, after finally waiting, talked to somebody. They told me they was gonna refresh my network settings and all that stuff, and to power the phone off, cut it back on, it'd be fixed. Well, it didn't. I powered it off, powered it back on, still the same slow speed. So, it's just really hard to, when you're on the phone waiting for 45, 50 minutes, talking to somebody, you're about aggravated at that point, and you're ready to just kind of tell them what's going on and get off the phone. So I didn't even, I didn't even try to, explain anything else while I was on the phone. But that's really the only two issues I have, so far experienced with Cricket Wireless is extremely long wait times for customer service, and my LTE is kind of wishy-washy. It's not very consistent, but it does okay, and it is usable. So that's all I'm going to say about this first uh, initial 3-day review of Cricket Wireless service. For the most part, like I say, great coverage, great call quality. I mean, I can get out anywhere, and it just sounds really good and everything. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. If you got any questions or comments about Cricket Wireless that you want to know about, I'll do my best to answer them for you. Subscribe to my channel. I sure would appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll talk to y'all later.